What's up, everybody? I'm John Middlekauff. You know what I need you to do. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We got content for days reacting to every NFL game all the time, every single day. Subscribe, like the videos. Let's go. Sam Darnold was something that we did not see coming. And I think you could lump in Baker Mayfield as well. It wasn't that long ago that those two guys were battling for a starting spot. Carolina was god-awful. Matt Rule got fired in the middle of the season, and it looked like both their careers were in shambles. I mean, hell, we had Spytek on a couple weeks ago, and he discussed how when they signed him, he was competing for the job with Kyle Trask. Obviously, these last couple years, that conversation feels like a distant memory, but it wasn't that long ago. It was 2 training camps ago. And Sam Darnold 2 years ago was, technically signed to compete for the backup job, but when he signed with the 49ers, he was a backup quarterback. Now, a couple years later, Sam Darnold just threw 35 touchdowns, just got $55-60 million guaranteed on a big contract. Baker Mayfield is definitely a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Things change, and things change fast. Like most human beings, who you're around, what organization philosophy that you are a part of, the people you're working for, the people you're working with have a huge impact on your success or failure. And Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold are great examples of, like, Aaron Rodgers went to the Jets and was an embarrassment. So you think Sam Darnold's going to overcome that? I mean, Baker Mayfield went to the Cleveland Browns. Hell, took him to the playoffs, won a playoff game on the road. And now look at their careers. Obviously, Baker in Tampa with a good team, just rattling off playoff appearances. Sam Darnold, the last 2 games leave a bad taste in your mouth, but no one's on throwing 35 touchdowns. And I just started thinking, like, is there a guy? Because it's going to happen again. Most teams are not like the Ravens, Chiefs, or Bills. There are a lot of teams in shambles constantly. Every single year, 5 to 7 to 8 coaches get fired. Why? Because it didn't go well. Coordinators get fired all the time. Bad draft picks happen. And dysfunction happens in the NFL. And young players are caught up between them. A couple years ago, I thought Brian Daboll did one of the better coaching jobs in recent memory. Took a team that wasn't that talented. Hell, he won a playoff game. And for the majority of his career, Daniel Jones, I would say, has been a laughingstock. And obviously last year when he got an opportunity to play, it didn't look good, coming off the injury. And part of it was the offseason with Joe Shane, us getting an inside look at their operation. And even if you hadn't worked in the NFL, it was like, something seems off here. These guys are just discussing free agency a day before. It almost felt like a reality television show that was scripted, but it was scripted to make them look like idiots. The NBA Finals are here, and this is your last chance to bet on the NBA until next season. And the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is pulling out all the stops to make it a finals to remember. One team will be crowned the champ, and the other will be lost to history. Who you got winning it all? Obviously, everyone's picking the Thunder. Not going to lie, don't hate dabbling a little on the Pacers. 5-1 to win the series. It's the NBA Finals. They just destroy the 1 seed, the Cavs, work the Knicks. I think people are sleeping on the Pacers a little bit. I get the Thunder are good, but I think people are underrating the Pacers. All season long, DraftKings has been the go-to spot for NBA player props, and that doesn't stop now. Who you got carrying their team to the chip? Try placing a bet on your personal MVP to drop 30, 40, or 50. I would expect, obviously, Shea, but definitely Halliburton to have some big games. Ready to place your first bet? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Lock in your bets and finish the season as a winner. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers, bet $5, win $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Don't miss your last chance to bet on the NBA season. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code JOHN. That's code JOHN for new customers to get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. And listen, Daniel Jones didn't help himself. He didn't play well. And a year later, he is, I think now, with Anthony Richardson's injury, the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. And I think you could argue that this is the best spot he's ever had. I think Brian Daboll is a good coach. But so Shane Steichen, who, like Daboll, offensive-minded guy. But the difference between the Colts and the Giants is like this team has a good offensive line. He played with Saquon the year that he was healthy, made the playoffs. Well, they got Jonathan Taylor. They have a really good running game. They got some weapons on offense. They just drafted a tight end with their top 15 pick. I saw a headline today. Steichen was like, God, this guy's a monster in practice. So, not saying it's going to happen. I haven't seen anything that would make me bullish, but I never in a million years, a couple years ago, would have said what Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield would have turned out to be. And like those guys, Baker #1 pick, Sam #3 overall pick, Daniel Jones #6 overall pick. And his comp has always been, we talked about it earlier in the week, Alex Smith. If you would have said Alex Smith, the third or fourth year of his career, was going to go on to be a consistent playoff quarterback and just one of the more well-respected guys in the NFL in 2007 and 2008, 2009, you would have been laughed at. People would have been like, you don't know what you're talking about. And a decade later, he started for Andy Reid for like 5-6 years, and they're going to the playoffs every single year. So where you play, the players around you, and people believing in you matters, right? Sam Darnold had Kyle Shanahan that went, I believe in this guy. Then Kevin O'Connell's like, I want a piece of that guy. And then this year, Mike McDonald, Kubiak, and John Schneider were like, I want this guy. It's a powerful feeling. The Buccaneers clearly not only rallied around the guy, but over the last couple of years, they're like, we believe in you, Baker. You are our guy. And that's a powerful thing. And when Daniel Jones is announced as the starter, I'm putting my stake in the ground now. It shows like we not only paid you $15 million to come here, but we believe in you. And luckily, part of the reason that I like the 49ers this year is because their schedule is a joke. And a big reason for that is the division they play, the AFC South. Well, that's who the Colts play. So, listen, a lot of stuff's going on with the Colts when it comes to the owner has now passed away. The daughters are in control. The GM hasn't had much success in terms of making the playoffs consistently. Obviously, this Anthony Richardson thing kind of hangs over their head. But, like, I do think this is just a guy to watch to resurrect his career. I mean, the best year of his career, he threw 15 touchdowns and he ran for 7. So that's a total of 22 touchdowns. Before last year, the best year of Sam Darnold's career was he threw for 19 touchdowns and ran for 2. So that's a total of 21. Neither one of these guys had lit the world on fire. Now, Sam Darnold to me is a more physically gifted player than Daniel, but I do think I never in a million years ago, 3 years, back to the year the Eagles first made the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, would have believed in Jalen Hurts. I didn't see it, but Shane Steichen did. Why? Because he's a good coach, and he schemed it, and he made it happen. And obviously, Jalen has gotten much better since then, but coaching really matters in this league, especially offensive coordinating. And when your head coach is the play caller and is a quarterback guy, I just think it's something to keep an eye on.